when I collaborated with Dr. Marzelan Salleh, a music lecturer from University of Malaya, where he composed my first song called Patah Sayapku. It based on a story, like when you been diagnosed with mental health, you feel like you have a broken wing. You're supposed to able to fly, and many of us, even all of us, aim to fly high, but then when you have broken wing, and you must have that kind of feeling that you feel inadequate, you feel like you lost your potential, you lost your wing, because it make you feel not function anymore, especially when you were born with both wing, and all in a sudden in middle of your journey you broke your wing, and then you feel like you feel inadequate, you feel weak. So when Dr. Marzelan Salleh, who composed my Patah Sayapku, along with other lecturer, from UPM, from UPSI, and this project, we performed this project in University of Bristol because it's under Connecting Culture. It's sponsored by British Council towards connecting culture through music. So it gave me the inspiration, because this collaboration actually took place after the challenging of COVID time. So during COVID time, when we come up with this initiative, it's resulting in the essence of the 9 songs for this album. All totally during COVID, I come up with 20 lyrics actually, but I just choose 6 from this 20 for this album, and then add on 3 English songs. So if you see on my screen, I have Demi Sebuah Rindu. Yeah. So this Demi Sebuah Rindu as a song itself is the expression of deep feeling of missing someone. It's like a musical hug for the heart. And then I also have Pendam. So Pendam and Portray is about emotions. It's about Pendam is conceal. Conceal is you hide your emotions because you're afraid what others might think of you. While Portray is opposite. It's opposite of you show your happiness on social media. You fake sometimes your happiness because you're afraid. Again, you're afraid of being judged. And then I also have Cocoon in this album. Cocoon is a symbol of struggle. Just like cocoon protect a butterfly as it transforms, this song, I hope that it symbolizes our journey to overcome struggle and learn to open up. So the main that what I want to achieve is open up actually through this campaign, where it breaking the silence about mental health. It's about everyone to open up for supporting each other and saying it's okay not to be okay. And then I also have Yakini Janji, Dakapan Ilahi, and Langit Itu. That's more. These 3 songs special for like more of spiritual reflections, where the songs itself carry deep messages about accepting challenges, finding passion, and understanding our human imperfections. And finally, the 9th song called Berakhirkah Penantianku. It's the wisdom in experience. Because this song, what I try to portray is finding wisdom in every experience, whether it good or not, whether we went tough journey, for example, in showing something there's something to learn in every moment of experience that we've been given. So as a whole of the Sebuah Rindu, it's a woven tapestry of emotion, experience, and reflection. And hopefully, when it come together as an album under the Sebuah Rindu, it's create a beautiful and meaningful piece of art, and at the same time try to give awareness about it's important to open up. So this is what I try to what I mentioned earlier, and I like to share a bit of open up and Pendam. So let's see if I share some bit of Pendam.
Tak tertahan, menahan sesak nafasku seakan jantung terhenti di sini. Dalam segala rasa tak mampu kirap sekuat jadinya.
Yeah, that's the first song that I released for the album Pendam. It's something that we conceal in the lyric itself to show that how unable to express the feeling, because like when you have a lot going on in your plate, when you have it too much and you feel overwhelmed, you're unable to express it because you confuse what's going on. And so by and I'm quite fortunate I able to express it through creative way, through this music, through writing lyrics. So but pendam so much, where later on in the lyric pendam, because it when you pendam so much, it will take a lot of an energy. It's not easy to pendam, it's not easy to conceal your problem. It will take your energy a lot, and then later on it will destroy your life, because you conceal it too much. You just going to explode basically. When something like big happen, something that trigger, you can explode. So that's why I come up with Open Up. So let me share a bit of Open Up. Open Up is an English song. So nine of in this album is 9 songs, but 6 in Malay and then 3 in English. So Open Up one of it.
Through the storm, through the pain, I'll find a way to heal this strain. No matter how far you may roam, I'll always welcome you back home. Let me open up, let me show you I care. Don't you walk away, my love is still there. I'll put aside my anger, my pride, and my fear. Come back to me, let's make things clear.
Yeah. So Open Up is about breaking the silence. When we talk about Open Up, this song is about breaking the silence. It's not just about the individual who have the mental health to speaking up. It's also group effort to support those dealing with mental health struggles. And stigma often make families feel ashamed. So through my campaign, this music and mental health campaign, DEMI SEBUAH RINDU, I would like to encourage students to open up, reminding them that they are not alone, and there's a caring network is here to help them. So it's opposite with the open down earlier, where it's we take us into the world where people hide their feeling due to stigma. So this stigma that we should end this stigma, because it show the struggle many face in expressing what inside. Meanwhile, in portraying the pretending life on social media, why we pretend, in my lyric later on when we release this album, you're able to see that portray, explore the pretending to be happy on social media while fearing judgment. So this song hopefully give a voice to the unspoken feelings, so it become a canvas for expression. So yeah, so the inspiration of this album, basically it's understanding of my bipolar journey. Because I look at my bipolar journey as a roller coaster of emotions. So imagine a roller coaster. You picture the journey of a roller coaster ride where emotions go up and down, and this roller coaster representing that up and down of my bipolar experience, with full of surprises. If it's a roller coaster, you know when it come, when it will go down. But just imagine it's unpredictable, when there's no pattern, when you just have to face the day. Wake up in the morning, you can be happy in the morning, and later on in sudden that you've been down again, you've been low again. So it's really unpredictable. So I want to highlight here how important to recognize things early, because I found out about my bipolar disorder during my first year, during my PhD study. It was like being a ride without realizing it, that until big moment made me see it. Um, it was on my first my first baby first birthday. He got these rashes on his cheek, both cheek, and I took him to GP. And a simple question at the doctor office made me cry unexpectedly. He just asked, "How are you?" It's just normal question, but it was strange that I can cry unexpectedly. It's like normal, not normal cry. It's something like it's just different, where the doctor noticed something was up. So this moment made me, because I thought the emotional struggle was just because me being new mom, because I traveled from Malaysia to UK 22 years ago. It was winter time. We arrived in the UK 1st October. Basically, it was last week, to celebrate and mark our 22 years being in the UK. And I was with a small baby. And this baby, he just 12 days old. He just 11, 12 days old when we arrived in the UK. So having small baby come to the UK, a new change, a new place, where I don't have my rest for my, because I was doing my master at that time. I straight away get into class. I did finish my master class, but during the PhD time, because I have to further from master to PhD later on, that's why it's I have too much on my plate. And the weather in a new change, the weather was too cold for me, because I arrived on winter, come from Malaysia, from different weather, to come 4 season weather. I didn't expect that kind of things will make me overwhelmed. So I just thought I just struggled because of being new mom, and then the new study, new change. I never thought that I gonna have this bipolar disorder. So lesson in finding things early. So the moment you find things early is crucial in dealing with mental health challenges. That's why being in a family, if you notice something that just different, people can just change all in sudden. Because my experience just like that. I went through that with the eye, because it's later on in life. It's not like you were born and then you see things change, and you monitor, you see the pattern is just different from other children. And later on as adult, we also struggle to find, because we didn't find the things early. So sometimes it takes a surprising moment to see the truth. So yeah, so let me share more about how this riding roller coaster journey in the next slide. So this is a spectrum of bipolar disorder. So it's like a ride with a lot of different feelings. Sometimes it can feel like really high up, and other time it's like really low down. Normal mood variation here, normal mood. As normal people, it's normal to have up and down. We cannot to say that we always have happy moments some of the time, but it's normal to have this range. But then you see that how different range of bipolar disorder, and especially if you the one at the end here, when you being like a range of feeling like super happy, like overconfident, um and then the next to be really sad, when even when you're really sad you feel so depressed, a severe depression, and to go back into the balance of being normal is not easy. So if you imagine this spectrum, yeah, picture it as a journey through different emotional lands, each with its own challenges. So dealing with life pressure is something everyone face, but it's just different. But for some, it might feel different. And understand what is going on inside our mind is like peeling an onion, like you discovering it layer by layer to discover what's going on with your mind. So in my early journey with bipolar disorder, I had a time when I need to depend on medication to balance this feeling, and it was like trying to find the right balance. It was like walking on a tightrope. I also had to take sleeping pills because the strong feeling mess up my sleep. So if you can imagine when you have to depend on sleeping pill to sleep, it's really not good. So if I show you here the symptom of bipolar disorder, it's like to have that to have the depression, it's hard. Just imagine that you have two polar. and and as someone that never experienced this, to have that first few years was very hard, because I was confused. It's mix of confused, mix of being helpless, and depending on medicine also wasn't easy. It was like having an unwelcome companion, I can say. Like if I miss a step, like I forget, forgetting a dose, and it wasn't a small hiccup. It often meant going back to where I start all over again, going back to the beginning. It's not like you continuing where I left off. It's like to start all over again. I need to change the medication, go for bigger dose again, and it was something like not easy to handle. I become zombie, I can say, because the effect of try to find the right balance of medication, what suit me. So bipolar disorder is very tough journey, but by understanding and sharing experience like this, I hope we can help each other to navigate it with understanding and strength. So yeah, so my shift when the topic about self-help, um, it's a long process, I can say. It's a transitioning from depending on mood stabilizer and antipsychotic, and then towards self-help. It's such a long process. 20 years. It took me 20 years to to find the balance, and it's a still continuing process. So my shift, it was like my shift from medication into complementary medicine was like adding a new tools in my toolbox. Like imagine, like it's a course of understanding these new tools, new technology to slowly reduce reliance on medication. And it wasn't quick change. It was a step-by-step process. um and finishing the course of complementary medicine also took a lot of energy. It's like because it's big part of this journey how I can then not depend on medication. It took me 2 years to go back and forth between UK and Malaysia. um and before that I have to complete all my session with my secretaries, with my psychologist, talk therapy. I went through all of that treatment. So but on top all of this, what I can say, I consider myself fortunate to have crucial support in this journey. Um, Without my support from my husband, during this transition must be difficult because my husband support is play a very crucial role. It's a vital role actually. I'm so thankful that for him to be my steady pillar, helping me to navigate this shift. So he became my anchor, so allowing me to have space to complete the course and slowly reduce the medication. And it was like having a helping hand guiding me through this uncharted territory. Why I say I feel fortunate and lucky to have him, and he able to understand me because we met before I started my university. So he saw me as normal person. When I did my degree, I did well in my degree. In fact, I was a 4 flat student. I was the best student for my course, and then I got accepted to pursue my master in the UK. So my husband also seeing through my episode, and for myself, it's very tiring, and it's testing my passion and acceptance. But I think he endure even more. He endure even more than me because he need to understand what going on. But because he know me before, he able to see that how I have different, as just change my different personality into someone that very confident, and then have high self-esteem and become very low confident person. And he need to help me towards that. So what I can say is, towards this self-help, is this journeying together, because the journey is, it wasn't just about me, it's about us, the or your loved one who give your support to navigate this unknown together, find a new path towards well-being together. It's the support from your loved one become the compass, making the journey more meaningful and more like shared journey. So it's a journey of understanding. So what I can say, if you have good support, that's why it's important for me to create this awareness, so then people understand more and can give support more. So yeah, in order for me to share about how I find the journey of this self-help, because the next slide will be about how before I noticed I able to write lyrics, I went through other process as well. But let me go back into that screen back again, because it's very important here to say that before I move from regular medication, there's a safety net. And that safety net also important, because if I need it back, I can consult my GP and then get prescribed again. So that safety net, the flexibility is crucial as well, because it provides you assurance and sense of control. So how I managed to this dance of transition, like again I say, it with strong support that I received from my husband. So he not only understood what I was going through, but he went through it with me. So his passion become my lifeline. He comprehends those time where I'm not in the mood and feeling a bit low. It's not easy. Even like if you have your child having this kind of low mood, not in the mood, it is difficult. The same process with adult even more difficult, because that's why it's important for me that my husband allowed me to have my rest time. I find I need to rest when I start feeling that not in good mood. I said that I need some rest. I need to recuperate. I need to. Sometimes it can be so overwhelmed. I can't really find my word. So I need to isolate myself for a bit, and he let me to have that space. So it's a testament to the power of understanding actually, and support in the journey towards this mental well-being. So then the next process happened. So I find peace through gardening. It can be anything. This is coping mechanism that you need to find what suits you. It can be different for different people. If I find gardening, not everyone enjoy gardening. Maybe they enjoy walking, they enjoy hiking. Some people travel a lot, for example. And you need to find that what suits you. Maybe sports can help you, maybe cooking, maybe, it can be anything. It just, as long as you can find that coping mechanism, and you don't know what next, because later on with how I share from gardening, I find inspiration towards writing lyric, that you will see that how if you accept first, and then you open towards what next it guided you, maybe you find your talent, I can say. So therapeutic gardening, it's a journey that I start because I start talking to plants actually. uh I love to talk to my plant, and before it become something truly special. For example, this one, this is a Garden in Bloom award that I received last month from Royal Borough of Windsor. We just moved to new place, and then it is like nice surprise that you being greeted, you being welcome when your garden being selected as Garden in Bloom award. So in more than just a hobby, so gardening, it become more something that I enjoy. It's a way to make you feel useful and hopeful again. That's important. I think the key word behind the coping mechanism, it need to be something that you enjoy, and then it make you feel useful and give you new hope. So connecting with nature and doing the method that lifted your spirit, that's the other keyword. Whatever that lifted your spirit, you maybe enjoy reading, you enjoy painting, you enjoy other creative things to do. The inspiration of this gardening, I think, if I can recall, I began this adventure after my mom passed away, because I think I inspired by her love for gardening. It's like that's also to, the emotion of you miss someone, and you see her in the past love doing something, and then you try that, because it's actually I miss her. That's the process how I love gardening. And at the same time, at that time, the fate led us to move to a new place with a garden. We live in a place with no garden before. Maybe that's how I didn't treasure that gardening will be something that I can enjoy. But then when we moved to a place, especially this place that we moved, it was previously owned by my late friend, where the husband bought the place, but then she didn't get to live in that place. So I feel that there's something like emotional about the place itself, what make me because when we moved to that place, it was a jungle. The garden was a jungle. um the weeds like very high, and then when I say jungle, it's really like a jungle, and I turned it into a backyard garden, and later I expand it to the front garden, and then the garden becomes special place, a peaceful escape for me. I can be in the garden, and I have this egg swing, I put the soul, I put the it's a garden is my happy place. But at the same time, I have friends also who play a big role making my journey about this journey become beautiful, because they didn't just see my gardening just as plants. They saw it as a way to be creative, and it not just stop there. It's like they inspire me for cool project, because I enjoy cooking and baking, and then I use my garden as place where I enjoy my cooking, because I set up, a cooking area in my garden as well. And then when I say cool project, I involve when my friend come up with English summer camp. She come up with a program where I help to fundraise through my cooking, my baking. So, and then another project, creating beautiful display for restaurant. So it wasn't just about putting plants together. It's like a painting emotion and creativity, and make it useful. That's I think what make me have this self-help strategy helped me a lot, because it come out later on through the process. It come out with something else. It's come out with the charity program. You help others, you benefit others, and you feel good about yourself. At least you feel useful, because it's opposite when you feel depressed. You feel like you being helpless, you being hopeless. You don't want to get involved, you don't want to meet people. But then when you involve with something, that even little things, bake for cookies and fundraise, and even for myself that time, I don't want to know how much money that I make through the selling, until my friend show that they come up with a laptop for the program, to say that this is what my involvement. It come out as a laptop, and then I feel like subhanallah, to feel like you being useful again. And so as we look at the stories of this gardening, think about what you could be your thing. It can be gardening, cooking, any creative activities that help you to find your hope and joy again. So I can say that, especially when you got recognition. So few months ago, the restaurant that I been responsible to decorate for the front garden, it was launched by Her Majesty Queen of Malaysia, by our Permaisuri Agong. So it's a surprise. It's a something award that Allah gave me. It's like I never expect that the garden that I create and then being launched by someone that's so by the Majesty Queen herself. So yeah. So this is where the garden made music. So the garden made music. It's where the quiet language of plants turn into melodies. So I discovered music in the garden. Spending time in my garden brought an unexpected surprise, and because I discovered I could write music. I mean, like, I write lyrics. When I say I write music, it's like, because I'm someone who unable to play any instrument. And usually someone who makes song, at least they can sing, they can play instrument, and I don't have that. I'm rubbish at singing. And all in sudden I able to write. But let me I share more about the story. So the garden inspired me. So the lesson from the plants become musical tunes. It's like finding a hidden talent within myself. A hidden talent is it's like a new treasure. It's something surprise that all come up. Um, because I unaware of that musical ability. So in this picture, you see that me and Datuk Siti Nurhaliza. This happened before COVID. I got to meet Datuk Siti Nurhaliza. And I show this picture that why she looks surprised here, because she find out that I'm the cousin of her lyrics writer. My cousin experience in writing lyrics, and she wrote 11 songs for Datuk Siti Nurhaliza, especially the one that the legendary song Jerat Percintaan, the one that at the beginning is the start of the career of Datuk Siti Nurhaliza. The Jerat Percintaan is something like very special. So because when she asked my cousin to write a song again, unfortunately I couldn't connect my cousin before leaving for the UK. So at first I didn't know I could write music. It was like really, really like discovering a secret treasure. So as this creative side show up more often, so I decided to follow my feeling. And luckily, when I managed to talk to my cousin and ask for her opinions, surprisingly, she said that I got the talent. Um, so this discovery fueled my desire to explore new creative side even more. That's why from one song it become 20 song, and then and because I decided to follow my feeling. But because even more when my cousin said that I can write, then that encouraged me more. Without that, I also feel like, I just feel like maybe I just it's just a normal script, normal lyrics. So let this example, what I try to say here is, let this example of how gardening and making music connect, provide endless possibility that unfold for us to open ourselves to creative energy. This slide is about how to navigate the bipolar challenges, because it's still ongoing challenges in managing this bipolar disorder, particularly coping with change or routine. Even after 2 decades, 20 years now, that I can't claim I have mastered it, there's still time where it feels like a steep climb. It's like, especially any changes, new changes, especially new environment, new situation, where understanding is lacking, it can be significant to trigger the attack. So I'm still learning on how to manage my own expectation, and it has been a continuous process. Um, and that's why it's crucial to recognize the importance of people around you, because with the support from the support and providing space to understand during challenging moment is invaluable. Managing this episode involve keen observation on triggers, um, and it's continuing learning process. For example, like right now, now is October, and there will change in season. What I noticed, what trigger me, every time when it's winter, uh, because it's so cold, and I can't do my gardening, the change in season, I need to prepare to do something else because I can't do gardening. All the plant outside, it just even the plant look ugly because of you know because of the time of the year. So I can't expect things to always be. You need to adapt to that new changes. So usually during winter, I come up with other things. I write. I involve with I will take out my sewing machine and I sew as well, and maybe I cook a lot, so I enjoy being in the garden. So what things that trigger you? You have to notice that. Um, Insufficient amount of sleep, for example, it's also very critical. So if you see, especially with children or young generation where they lack of sleep, with the pressure of a lot of work and a lack of sleep, and I find if I don't have good sleep, I will be, the next day will be not good day for me. So identify your personal trigger. What can be a trigger for you? Pay attention to what overwhelms you. um because personally, when I'm overwhelmed, I will tend to be speechless. I will find solace in silence, and I isolate myself until I regain strength. And allow me here to share incident to illustrate about trigger. I thought I could handle a project in demanding environment, you know. So I take a project. Um, but what I notice is not the workload of the project that make me overwhelmed. I noticed something else that trigger me if there's a politics in the environment. Uh, it's like a politics of how people being and bullying you. When people choose to manipulate you, it become my trigger. So if you recognize that kind of such trigger, so you know your limit before it lead you deep hole where you're unable to find your way out, or it take much longer to find way out. So here is the crucial aspect of management. To know the trigger is one thing. The another aspect to manage that. So understanding trigger and setting limit is crucial aspect on managing the unpredictable nature of my bipolar disorder in my case. So it's a constant learning curve. And as we explore coping strategy, so let's remember the significance of self-awareness and supporting networks that surround us. So I'll go to the next slide. So with this campaign is part of the process how I want to share the process that I went through from gardening into music and now into campaign. Putting things together need a lot of, it's like collective cooperation. I involve my composer. I choose my composer among university student because my target is for university student, for young generation. So I choose among them to be my artist, and it happened. Student from UPSI, very talented student. So I choose this student to be my artist, my composer. So this project is something that that I hope that I can raise awareness among mental health for among university students, but try to reach wide audience and inspire positive change. So what I hope is try to create a conversation about mental health, to open up about mental health in an uplifting, compassionate environment through music. So open up is about to get help and give help both sides. The person who have the mental health to open up, the people around the support system also to open up. So here, let me share something like because I dealt with my up and down of bipolar disorder. Try to I can say that I trying very, very hard to find the balance of my life. But on top of that, I also face bullying from people who didn't understand my condition and call me unstable. It was tough. But Alhamdulillah, I'm proud of who I am today and the strength I found. So dealing with mental health is one issue. Dealing with bullying hurt. It made me feel alone and ashamed, and but I've learned it wasn't my problem. It was their problem. They also were the ones who needed help actually. So living with bipolar disorder taught me to be strong. I stand up for myself and chase my dreams. So dealing with bullying showed me that world can be tough, but we have Allah who guide us how to respond. So you have to have that. If you're facing similar struggles, remember that you are not alone and you are not crazy. And you are strong and you deserve respect. So that's why this campaign is very important for me, because let's end the stigma about mental health together and fight all this kind of bullying. Everyone should be accepted and loved for who they are. Let's build this world with respect and compassion. So having mental health issues isn't a personal failure. It like other mental health problem, and it can be treated with kindness. So that's why I really have this passion about this music and mental health, because I just see that how I can contribute more towards giving awareness. I think my screen stuck. Okay, going now. So to end the stigma, it's okay not to be okay. So if you allow fully to be felt, acknowledge and move through and process. And at the same time, it's okay to reach out, because for people who struggle with mental health, they they have something that make me, that hold them. Even for myself at the beginning, I feel like I don't want to, I have a lot of things and I don't want other people to get involved in my problem. But it's okay to reach out for help. So it's okay for not to be okay, for it's okay to be sad, it's okay to be lonely, it's okay to be afraid, it's okay to be angry, it's okay to be worried. But at the same time, it's okay also to reach out for help. So my next slide is just to show that hopefully this 9 song, I can show an example of how I come out from this journey, and to understand my purpose, I guess, the purpose of why I went through, why I've been given this test, why I've been given this journey, so I can share it with others, because it's not everyone I can, because to learn from someone else with similar struggle, you need to went through that, you need to pass through that in order to share. Before you pass that, you still not sure. That's what happened. I went through for 20 years, and then until I assure that I can share something, then I open up to share. So hopefully from the inspiration of Patah Sayapku, inshallah this year there will be another collaboration with the same lecturer, Dr. Marzelan, where we're gonna perform in Ireland, inshallah, and that will be on trauma of lemas. Lemas is the to describe the incidents of nearly drowning incident that I had in the past, especially recently. I just went through another trauma. The trauma when it's supposed to be a holiday in Marrakesh, but on the last night of our holiday, we went through the trauma of earthquake there in Marrakesh. It was the final night where I experienced something that, but it just make me, that during the trauma, I just feel like, oh God, Ya Allah, make me pass this, because I have big mission. I have something that I want to achieve, and it make me turn me to be someone that calm. I become calm on that night when during the incident. I just stay calm, and then I be patient, and then we went through the whole incident, because it was nightmare that night. And I still experience that trauma by when we managed to come back to UK, even like I was asleep, and my son opened the door, but I still feel like I just wake up from the earthquake, because it is still there. It's same with my past trauma, the incident of nearly drowned incident. Every time when I have my episode, I always go back to that situation again. I'm feeling being underwater, and I have to deal with that. So that's what I think with my lyrics, I able to express that, I able to divert that energy to handle that, rather than being in that situation and it stressed me out. I better to write down and then make it into beautiful piece, and where I later on can able to share with others. So I guess is it good time to open for question and answer session? Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah, thank you so much, Julie, for the heartfelt talk. I really feel you. I really, really understood from the point you're talking, and I can see that you're a deep thinker. I over the years, the situation had made you think deeply, and I'm so happy for you that your thoughts had not led you to anything negative, but had led you to positive things. You know, you came up with beautiful words like power of understanding. You know, I think that's the word. You know, it's going to be useful for us in therapy when you talk to families and friends of people that go through, you know, struggles, and you tell them they just need that part to understand. So it's not like it's natural for some people, but they need to learn it. Also, adjusting. I like that aspect where, you know, people have to learn to adjust to their triggers, which is great, you know, and that shows that you're very conversant, you're very mindful, you know, of your situation, you're mindful of your circumstance, you know what to look out for, you know what to be careful of, you know what to prepare for, and so on. And I think that's a great point. Also, I'm so happy for you. You have a wonderful husband. It's such a nice thing. You know, the last lecture we had before yours, you know, she was giving us stories of people that had to go through trauma or psychological challenges because they had narcissist husbands. So I'm so happy for you and for that beautiful piece. So before I go on, let's check the chat box. Please send in your questions, your comments. I have Hal NG here. She said, Dr. Ezwin, you're strong when you're willing to share your personal journey as a bipolar survivor. That's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Wonderful.
Ku Yusuf said, strong lady, I salute you. Hey. Yeah, that's a nice one. Another person said, mashallah, doctor, may Allah bless you. That's good. Aru Mugan said, God bless you, doctor. Ku Yusuf again said, I want to ask a question. Please go ahead. We're waiting for your question, Yusuf. Daria says, that was a great sharing, doctor. Such a strong spirit. God bless. So while we wait for more questions to be sent in. Okay, so I have more here. Yusuf.
Hello.
Yeah, please go ahead.
I'm Fu Yusuf here. I'm very senior, actually, almost 70.
Oh, sorry, sir.
Okay, it's okay. What do you call? I want to ask Dr. Ezwin. What do you call that? When she had the trigger, when she had the attack of manic or depression, you are bipolar, isn't it? Normally, how long does it last without treatment? Okay, and with treatment, with your, gardening and writing songs and all that, how long does it last?
Oh, okay.
Berapa
That's
lama?
very
Okay.
that's
Okay.
very good
Sorry,
question.
Mr. Yusuf.
How long for it happen? With my bipolar disorder, the one that I got is unpredictable one. Over the years, these 20 years, I went through so many pattern, and I'm still learning the pattern because the pattern is different. I can be ill for a day, I can be ill for a few days, I can be ill for a few weeks, it can be even months. It happened before. That's why it's important to trigger before I because sometimes what happened when when Dr. Lazba mentioned about having very not supportive husband, that also, that when you stay with that, it trigger your problem, and then you don't know how to find the solution to find the solution to handle that, because unless you able to make the people who surround you to really understand. My situation a bit different because my husband understand, but before that I also been in the situation when people not understand me, and that caused it longer. I think the previous one that I had like few months where I'm being overwhelmed, I can't find words to I don't even want to talk. I feel like I being numb. I was being numb. I unable to express it. I think that's where this time that I've been given this talent of expressing it, because the process is, as I can say, that the process very long. It's for few months I unable to talk, and all of a sudden it come out with lyrics, because I always have this actually. whether in the garden, by my side, under my pillow. I always have my notebook. So when I unable to talk about being overwhelmed, I will write what I felt. I write in my notebook. So to say about how long it lasts, it depends. I have the incident of few weeks because of different situation, and in this long few months because of different situation, because our situation change from time to time. So we just have to monitor. That's other thing that with bipolar, you have to have that like you monitor your own timetable, you monitor your routine, and take note of that, because at the beginning, now I don't do much on that monitoring by have the chart and things, but in the beginning I did, because you have to have the note where you how long the process. And but since I noticed that my challenge is different, that my polar is just very unpredictable, I just, I leave it to, I learn the flow. I learn the flow by really change the energy into something else. Yeah. So how long it lasts? I hope this talent lasts longer with me, because I think it quite useful for me. If it kind of seasonal, or if it kind of but the gardening is still stay with me for a few years at least. It's still, because I live at that place for 9 years, and then for the whole 9 years, every year I use it as a looking forward. Every time during start from April, from before that March, I really looking forward for good weather of summer. And but last year, the change weather in the UK, um where we don't have good summer, we have rain in the summer, that I can see it trigger. I noticed that how I I see the change weather make my plant not have a usual routine as previous years. But luckily I can compensate that with my writing, being indoor and do my writing. And then because I start write stories as well now, maybe that what make this process means, like from gardening into music, writing lyrics. Now I learn to share through writing more longer story. That that how I explore my journey. So but in between that, speaking of that, in between that, I went travel. I've been in Istanbul for 2 months and a half. And my husband allowed that. That's a good thing that my husband allowed that when I feel that I have to be somewhere to find inspiration. um so the process of finding for inspiration is ongoing. And the next traveling that I will do will be maybe in Malaysia to find more inspiration, and maybe I will be more in UPSI because I have great things to do with UPSI.
You're most
uh,
welcome with UPSI.
yeah. Let me share why UPSI. Yeah, can I share that a bit, Dr.
Please,
Fauki?
please do,
Yeah.
please do.
Okay. When I say about traveling, during my degree year, um because my family, from the background, we don't have much, we don't travel because we don't have money. I basically don't have money to travel. But then, because I did well in my degree, and I was one of the student that been given chance to travel to Japan as young ambassador to Japan, and so do the vice chancellor of UPSI. So I met him in 1999. So
Wow.
he represent UPSI and I represent my university, and we went 20 of us. And 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 it's good to see, because when Ku Yusuf or everyone else called me doctor that thought I finished my PhD. I didn't finish my PhD. That's the things that when I had my bipolar, I dived into different area. That's how I was from computer science background, and I have to quit my PhD in computer science. I divert my area into psychology of education. So I have double master, and rather than go for PhD, I find explore other things, because I still have trauma during my PhD, where I have to quit my PhD because of my bipolar. So maybe, inshallah, if everyone pray for me, and you can call me doctor in the future.
Inshallah.
But
Actually, nothing is impossible. It's a good
yeah,
thing you're getting the hang
yeah.
of it. So
Yeah, maybe
that's
maybe I can use later on with the what I come out with this from mental health campaign, because I really love to be useful again, to involve with something that I have this like mission. Because you remember when during the trauma of earthquake, I see screen. That's what I see. When I have the incident of drowning, I see screen, the like fast forward screen. And that's why when I've been to go through the bipolar attack, it's like you go through that screen again,
yeah.
and then to have another big trauma like 6.8 magnitude of earthquake, you feel like the that to handle that, to process that, I just have to have something else, which is the mission of I want to be useful again. I want to be beneficial again, and hopefully, yeah. So hope it
Yeah.
answer your
Yeah, thank you so
question.
much for that response. Don't worry, like we said, no, there's no time, nothing is too late when it comes to achievement. Thank you so much, Mr. Yusuf, for the question. We still have more comments here. We have we have, that was a great sharing, doctor. Such strong spirit, God bless. We have, thank you, Puan, for the insightful session. You're a very strong lady. We have, I, Madam Ezwin. I'm a first-year PhD student and a depression survivor. Do you think I should disclose my depression to my supervisor and faculty members? Thank you. Also, there's a follow-up question by the same person. I'm still on antidepressant and having follow-ups at the psychiatric hospital in a government hospital. So what's your response to her or him?
I'm not sure, can I be honest about this question, because I went through that actually. When I disclose my illness, there's a consequences, but at that time maybe there's lack of understanding. But for me, we because at that time I have to disclose my mental health report, and I share it. But I don't know, it's something that you
It's
need to
both
find
ways,
out.
right?
You need to find out whether your it will what will affect you later, if it make you because what I went through, I've been it's something like very emotional that I don't disclose yet about the incident that I had when I disclosed my mental health issue, because I that's make me that's why I decided to quit my PhD at that time, because I feel like I've been betrayed by the person that I trust. So I think it's depends. You have to find first whether by doing that will cost you. So you need to find it. Yeah. On
Okay,
my
yeah,
yeah.
maybe I can chip in this. If ALNG is a student in UPSI, you can go to the counseling center and speak to the professionals there. I'm sure they will do a situation analysis for you, see if it's best you disclose,
Yeah.
because you feel the individual feels very inspired by your being able to talk about it freely, openly, and disclose.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have another question. Nowadays, AJK Media says, now Assalamu alaikum salam Sejatrat. Doctor, nowadays young generations always diagnose themselves with mental illness. Can you tell us a few steps to overcome this?
Can you read the question again?
Nowadays, young
Young
generation always diagnose themselves with mental illness. Can you tell us a few steps to overcome this?
Self-diagnose, is it?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah, you see so many people come to you, oh, I have depression, I have OCD, I have this, and you're like, okay, did you get diagnosis from the hospital? And they're like, no, I think I do. I read it online, so, things like that.
It's even for myself, I went through proper diagnosis. I went for professional, because it's a long process. Because along the way, because at the beginning I thought it's just postnatal depression, and then it changed into different diagnosis, and it's long process. Is don't self-diagnose yourself. Go for professional and let them help you. Because you need the medication after that. Because what happened when you self-diagnose, and then the later on to the process to it's good that you notice, you have all the list out all your and observe your pattern or things that that you went through, but then that part of the process of you have to go for professional to do the diagnosis. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Even though somebody is advising her not to disclose already. Anyways, someone is saying you're already a doctor in our hearts. That's beautiful.
Sure.
Thank you, madam, for your meaningful sharing. Really strong woman. So I think on that note, I'll ask the last question and we wrap it up. So my last question is, in what phase do you get your inspirations from? Your manic space or your depressive space?
Oh, both.
Both.
The inspiration of having both, for me to understand what's going on with your brain when you're overconfident, because this experience allow me to experience both. When I say I'm being overconfident, it's like you have this racing thought, but because towards I process and went through it, and learn to handle it, it's the process where I learned that someone can be very articulate, someone can be very intelligent, and you don't know where the intelligence come from. It just all of a sudden you can mix with people, with high intelligent people in one group, and then it means that it's like a switch button in the brain when you have the right hormone balance, or when all the balance perform amazingly, you can be turn out to be someone that very confident. Because I experienced myself, when I have that episode, it's just that I need to meet the people with that, to share what I went through. And that time it's just like the flow of ideas, the flow of and even your confidence, your self-esteem, you feel great about yourself. And at the same time, to went through the depressive, and when it's severely, I can't manage myself. I just want to stop in my bed. I just want to sleep. I don't want to meet the world. I don't want to see, I don't want to talk. I don't want to have any conversation. It means that it's again your brain. It's your brain not working well at that time. So to understand that you have both, that it's about the hormone imbalance that going on with your brain, not working properly. So the inspiration is for me to appreciate, because when I've been given as a best student, I appreciate people who struggle with their study. And then to see people who struggle or have problem with their study, I appreciate that I went through that, and then I experience being a best student. So both give me inspiration not to look down to other people and just be kind to other people. So the inspiration come from both being manic and depressed. So that's why in my final song Berakhirkah Penantianku, it's about the wisdom of experience. It both have hikmah behind that. Like I said, even I lost my PhD, there's hikmah, big hikmah behind that. So along that journey, as long as you accept and you want to go through the process, you will see the hikmah, what Allah guide you. It's only you being given that when you accept that fully accept of your what you've been given, then you will able to see the wisdom behind every single thing that happened to your life. Yeah, is it?
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
that-
On this note, we really like to say a very big thank you for coming to be part of us. Happy World Mental Health Day. Thank you so much for expressing. Thank you so much for talking. You know, sometimes some people don't need they don't need therapists, you know, to encourage them. Listening to survivors is enough push for them. And they just head off straight for treatment because they know now that it's yes, people stigmatize, but then just like we say, it's like every other physical illness, you know, it's something you can live with and be a better person. Again, thank you so much for being part of us. We really appreciate this. Over to you, MC.
Yeah.
Thank you to our guest, Madam Julie Ezwin Othman, for sharing the personal journey and self-help strategies, and also to our moderator, Dr. Aroyi for conducting this session so well. Now, I'll pass to the technical team.
Hello, Assalamualaikum and good evening everyone. So I am Azil and I'll be the technical committee member for this photography session. First of all, I would like everyone to open your camera first and smile. Okay, I give everyone some time first. Okay, it seems like that's everyone. So I'll start with the photography session. Okay, get the camera, smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, one more. Freestyle. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. So I'll pass it back to the MC.